As we prepare our homes and really our hearts and minds for the upcoming Pesach holiday, we recognize that we can learn Torah and learn from everybody. And that's really what's beautiful about the Seder, is that we are all equals. We all get to ask questions. We all get to answer questions. And so today we're very pleased that we have Loen Amer and the rest of the clergy today going to just share a few minutes each, 2 to 3 minutes, so not that long, of just a little bit of our Torah that we hope that you can bring it to your Seder night. I often like to give my kids that I teach, the students, like homework for Passover, which is they have to ask one question at the Seder. So I'm going to give that to you guys as well, and we can share some of those questions perhaps. So beginning with Loen, and then Chazan, me, and then Rabbi Steph.
Shabbat Shalom. Hi, everybody. Who's stressed about Passover? No, nobody's stressed about Passover?
We're excited. No.
Who's excited? Who's stressed and excited? The Seder has this very rigid order. Seder means order. There's 14 steps. One of the steps towards the end is Hallel. So it's very surprising in the Magid section, sort of towards the end of the Magid section, when some people might be ready for this section where we're telling the story to be over. It's very surprising we start doing Hallel, which again is one of the titles of the steps towards the end. So it's very surprising that we have Hallel in a section that's not called Hallel, and then a section that is called Hallel where we do have Hallel. So my question was, why do we have Hallel during the Magid, and then why do we also have it later? And I realized it's very unusual also that we're doing Hallel at night. Hallel we usually do in the morning. We do it on holidays. We do it on Hanukkah. We do it on Sukkot. It's unusual that we're doing it at nighttime. So in my research, I found out that the division between the two sections of Hallel is thematic. So the beginning two Psalms from the book of Psalms that we read in the section of Magid, those two sections are about the Exodus, about leaving Egypt. And then the last four that we read during the section that's called Hallel are about redemption, about community, about a hope for a future. And there's some very beautiful verses in the end of Hallel. Even ma'asu habonim haita lerosh pinah. The stone that was rejected by the builders has become our cornerstone, has become our foundation, which is a verse we read in Hallel whenever we read Hallel. And Rosh Pinah is also the name of a city in Israel. So if we're thinking about this idea that the end of the Seder has all these ideas of a future, of a better future, and then also the idea that's in Hallel and then is in the last line of the Seder that the next year will be in Jerusalem. We also have this allusion in Hallel to a future that could be better in the land of Israel. And so it's just wonderful that as a community, we're coming together during these two sections of the Seder to think about a better future, building a better future all together.
Shabbat Shalom. And what is so incredible is that we did not coordinate our talks, and what I'm about to share with you is just a snippet of the Hallel. And if you ask me, what is your favorite melody from the Haggadah, I would answer, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Now raise your hand if you don't even know it. Yeah, it's fine. I didn't know this melody as a child either, but then through the world, let's see if we can learn it together. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. And this melody is composed for Kilo Na'eh ki lo ya'eh. Ki lo na'eh, ki lo ya'eh, adir bimlucha. So we're going to try that, and then we're going to open up to the Hallel on one verse on page 136 and experiment with applying it. So first, follow my lips. Ki lo na'eh, ki lo na'eh, ki lo ya'eh, ki lo na'eh, adir bimlucha, ki lo na'eh, ki lo ya'eh, ki lo na'eh, adir bimlucha. Now the B section is really where it's super exciting. We're going to save that for now, and let's go to Hodu Ladonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. So even if you're not looking at the Siddur, this is a moment in your Seder where you may have so many different melodies, and you can allow your creativity to flow or think of the melody from Iran or from Iraq or from Tunisia or from Poland or from Borough Park, wherever you're from, and allow that creativity to flow in. So now we're going to sing Hodu Ladonai ki tov to that. Hodu Ladonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. Hodu Ladonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasto. And lastly, I want to express incredible gratitude for our Iraj Nejat. He's sitting over there, and over the months, he's been preparing us for each and every holiday by creating a beautiful portrait. And you can see here the matzah and the Seder plate and the Haggadah. And so our charge from Iraj and also for all of you is to allow your creativity. Oh, this is the Afikomen? Okay. That's up to interpretation. Right. So to allow your creativity to flow into your celebrations, allow your memory of what was, and allow your creativity for what can be as you go forward.
Beautiful.
So thank you, Iraj.
And the idea of artwork and of beautifying is something that I'm going to be talking about in my 2 minutes. I've been teaching a class on Tuesday evenings, but began in January, which was talking about the treasures found in the Cairo Geniza, which, by the way, it is going to take decades to go through everything. Another time I can tell you, you can actually participate in that. There's a website you can go to, and you can offer to help decipher the scanned text, because there's so much there, they just need volunteers to do that. But something that we ended up ending towards as we got to Passover is also the phenomena of illuminated manuscripts, which was a phenomena that came out of Spain. And then obviously as Jews were expelled from Spain, they took the phenomena and they took their books with them. And so one of the most famous ones is the Sarajevo Haggadah. It was composed in Spain, but it made its way to Sarajevo. You can read about it, and also is the historical fiction novel by Geraldine Brooks called The People of the Book. I really suggest that you do it. It talks about how this book got from Spain to Venice, where it was then censored, or actually the censor just approved it, and then made its way to Sarajevo, and then actually survived the Holocaust and survived the war in 1992. So it's really the people of the book. The book has kind of like us, like Halach Ma'anya. But really what makes the book also beautiful, and there are many other than like that, is just how they use artwork, they use gold leaf, and you can spend forever looking at these books. People get PhDs. So I will have a couple copies that will go around of a few things. One of the things you see, obviously, is the Halach Ma'anya. There's animals. You can spend forever on it. And you can imagine they might just have one copy. It would get passed around. And then also there's different biblical scenes. People didn't necessarily read. And so the artist here put sort of a summary of the entire Genesis and Exodus and themes. So you can see here Jacob's ladder. This is the one of they actually leaving Egypt, and the chariots are chasing them. Then we have the burning bush on the back here, as well as the magicians. The snake looks like a kind of a crocodile, some people actually say it was. Then you have person, like this is the communal charoset pot. People are getting charoset. You can see the circle matzah. I guess the matzah baker was there. And so it's just, you can spend forever. Go online. There are so many different Haggadot. Maybe print a few pages and you can pass it around so people can look at it while the Seder is going on. And so after Rabbi Stecker speaks, I will pass these around. I'll bring a copy up to the balcony so people can have a look.
Okay, so I'm going to just to add onto my 2 minutes, just going to wish a huge mazel tov to Ron and Ruthie Golden, who both shared with us the prayer for the United States, the prayer for Israel, who are celebrating a beautiful, very major birthday in your lives. And we just pray for you just to continue forward. Not always easy for us to continue forward, but you should continue forward and know that you have our love and our joy and our celebration with you. So mazel tov. So, I've told a story before. It's going to introduce just a little theme that I want to share. When one of my sons, who is now actually going to, God willing, be a father in a few months. So thank you, very remarkably exciting and a new phase for Deanna and me. So when he was younger, I had a whole conversation with him about something, and I was trying to convince him to do something religious. And I quoted Maimonides. I said, according to Maimonides, here's what you have to do. And he said to me, I don't care about your Maimonides. So that was a very eye-opening moment. He had a great sense of humor. I'm not sure if he fully understood what he was conveying, but my understanding was this was his way of saying, just because it's yours doesn't mean it's mine. Just because it matters to you doesn't mean that it matters to me. And my little message for us is that Passover is a time for us to take our tradition and to make it our own. And that is to find something in the Haggadah that means something to us, to ask a question that has meaning for us. We saw this morning members of the congregation coming up and leading parts. Anyone in our community who prepares can step forward and make it yours. The children of Israel were told, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, this month is your month. And the rabbi said, you have to make it your month, or otherwise it's just the calendar. You have to make it yours, you have to make it your tradition. So my wish, my hope for each of us is that the melodies of the Haggadah and the foods of the celebration and the arguments and the discussions, that we will reach out and find something and make it ours, so that it is our tradition, our Maimonides, our connection to everything that we represent as a people. So with